Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Josie's Point of View, where we focus on human nature stories from the Carolinas and beyond. Today's Sunday and it's September the 18th, 2022. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new to my channel, I'd like to extend to you a warm welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you find the information here to be informative. And if you're a return viewer, by all means, thank you for coming back. You know, I always say the tide changes so frequently here on these YouTube streets. So you always have to acknowledge where your support comes from. And I want you to know I sincerely thank you for your support. Feel free to like and to share this video. And don't forget to subscribe. And our story today takes us to Wendell, here in North Carolina. Take a look at the headline. And it reads, 8th grader takes his own life in bathroom at school. I'll provide you with a summary here, and as always, I'll place links to a few of the full articles in the description box. Well, I'm sure you're aware that September is Suicide Awareness and Prevention Month, and some might say it's a time to address a topic that makes many of us feel very uncomfortable. But did you know that suicide is the 12th leading cause of death in the United States? And in 2020, over 45,900 Americans took their own lives. Unbelievable. In 2021, the number of suicide deaths were reported as 45,855. And we live in a society where that accounts to almost 130 today. It just seems unbelievable, especially since the majority of suicides are preventable, and men over the age of 65 appear to have the greatest risk, and these are nationwide statistics. And so I wanted to bring this matter closer to home because the group that appears to be generating major concern for us here in North Carolina is the 10 to 16-year age group, where it appears that the suicide rates have gotten out of control. It appears to be exploding, and we can't seem to wrap our hands around it. And that's where this video aims to take us. So I want to share the story of a young boy who took his own life, and like everybody else, including myself, we're wondering whether the senseless death of this innocent child could have been prevented. So the focus of our story today is on this handsome young man, 13-year-old Austin Pendergrass. He was an 8th grader attending Wendell Middle School. His family described him as an amazing little boy who loved turtles and who was very helpful around the house. They say he was always pitching in to help, and he liked to bake with his mom and his siblings. He shared living arrangements with his parents. Part-time he spent with his mother, and the other half of the time he spent with his dad. But there was something going on with this 13-year-old, and he was carrying a burden that no child should have to bear. Family members confirmed reports saying he had been bullied at school, and it had gotten out of control. His mother said the bullying started when he was in the 6th grade and only got worse throughout the years. Down chin. This had been going on for some time. Family say he was able to enjoy his summer away from school, but the bullying continued just as soon as he returned to school. And that's a damn shame. But this child was obviously distressed by all that he was having to go through, and it's unclear what steps the family took to make sure the school was aware of what was taking place with Austin, and it's also unclear what step the school administrations took to make sure this 13-year-old was able to spend quality time at school and enjoy his day just like everybody else. But the parents were definitely aware, and they noticed a change in his behavior. But they also say while he was home, he was happy over the summer. But the key is once he returned to school, that bullying continued, and he just could not take it anymore. So at some time during the morning hours on the 2nd day of school, this school year, we're talking about Tuesday, September the 6th, young Austin Pendergrass was so distraught that he went into the bathroom at school, the Wendell Middle School, and at that location, Austin Pendergrass became another statistic of bullying and another teen statistics. Yes, the 13-year-old ended his life. One can only imagine the shock and the horror and the disbelief that followed, and confusion. I can't even begin to imagine the horror experienced by any parent getting a call to say that an emergency involving your child had happened at school, and then to find out your child had taken his own life in the school bathroom. And it was not just a horror experience by the family, but by other children at school, by parents when they found out what had taken place. And in fact, the entire community was in shock. Something like this was not supposed to happen, and definitely not to a 13-year-old boy who was just trying to function at school. And there are just so many unanswered questions. But the people who probably have the most to contribute to the conversation are just not talking. The school and the school system is silent. And of course, the police are not sharing a lot of information as they work to complete their investigation. But no matter how long this investigation takes, when a 13-year-old boy takes his own life at school, somebody needs to be held accountable. Somebody's got some explaining to do. And the most prominent questions out here today is whether the death of teenager Austin Pendergrass could have been prevented. Most people say yes. Did they miss the signs? Probably yes. Probably they saw the signs and probably they just failed to act on it. We don't know. Did the school do everything in its power to protect this child? We don't know the answer to that question. We really don't know if the school did anything at all. Did the parents do everything in their power to protect their child, especially since this bullying had been going on for 2 whole years? 2 whole years. We just don't know what actions they took and just how the level of involvement had been by the school system. We don't know the answers to those questions. But the one thing we do know is that a 13-year-old should never have to resort to taking his own life because he's being bullied so badly and he does not feel he has any other choice. I honestly cannot say how I would respond if this happened to me or to someone in my family. I just couldn't say. But the parent of this 13-year-old, Austin's mother, she has a message that she wants to send to other parents so they don't end up losing a child like she did. First, she said, teach your child to be kind to other children, even if they are perceived as different. And I think that is so very important. I also think parents need to display appropriate behaviors at home. They need to be mindful that children will model what they see at home, and unless corrective actions are taken, they will take those behaviors with them through different phases of their life. Be mindful that kids are watching everything that you say and everything that you do. So when you identify behaviors that are inappropriate, it's not a time to laugh or act as if it's funny. You are the first line of defense for the world, and it's up to you to take corrective actions. Secondly, she said, make sure you're listening to your kid and know what's going on with them. And I would also add, be prepared to act if you know there's a problem. And I don't mean beating up with anybody, but I mean being responsible. In this case, the family knew this child had been bullied since the 6th grade. And the reason why they know it is because Austin told them. Make sure you're listening and make sure you not only act on it, but follow up with your child to make sure that the problem no longer exists. I was speaking with a good friend of mine who has a young daughter, and she was telling me about the signs that she was seeing. The child was so very excited about going back to school, but within a matter of days, she came home and said, Mommy, I don't want to go to school anymore. And that's when she found out another child had been hitting on her. You need to take action, take responsible action, and make sure you're following up to make sure the problem is resolved. And thirdly, this mother said, make sure you hug your kids a little tighter every day. No explanation needed here. And finally, I want to leave my audience with a new number for the National Suicide Hotline. The number changed a few months ago. Feel free to pass it along. And if you know of someone who might be at risk, please take a few minutes and reach out. You could be saving a life. And that's all I have for you right now. Feel free to leave me a comment below and let me know what you think about this video. And by all means, feel free to like it and to share it. And if you haven't done so already, I want to invite you to subscribe to my channel by clicking on that red subscribe button. It's on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And if you click on the bell that looks just like this one here, it's the notification bell. If you click on that notification bell, you'll be the first to know whenever a new video is uploaded. I thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.